Hey, welcome back. The rust hole is fixed. Prep the dash for paint. We find out what's behind bumper cover 1. There it is. There's the dash with the skim coat on top. As you can see, it's nice and, well, maybe you can't, but trust me, it's nice and flexible now compared to what it used to be. All the dried out, rotted, cracked material is removed, replaced with this flexible filler. It's polymer-based material with some fibers in there to give it some strength, and works great. It's nice. Filled everything in, sanded it smooth, and then I put this on top of that. So this is some leftover material I had, but you can kind of see how it's flexible, nice and flexible here. So it's like the dash used to be. You can see here it flexes nicely, so that shouldn't dry and crack out like the old dash did. I'm gonna, obviously now it's gonna get painted. I get a special primer that goes on over this, and then after the primer goes down, then there's the texture coat you put on there to bring back the texture and the grain to it, so it looks as close to factory as it can look. Obviously it's not going to look 100%. Look closely, you'll notice the grain maybe doesn't match what the original grain was, but it's a lot better than some of the alternatives out there, at least cost wise and aesthetics wise. Caps just look like crap, and to take the dash out and send it off is just too costly to do. Maybe someday in the future they make a repop that's affordable and a good quality, then I'll maybe change out to that. So today though, we're going to get this ready for paint, tape it all off, prep it, clean it, get that done. So we'll get to that in a few minutes, as well as we're going to take this front bumper off here, the outer cover, the outer bumper. The bolts have been soaking. Sprayed some penetrating oil on all the bolts, so they should be all ready to come off. So we'll take that off and see what's hiding underneath behind that. And yep, that's what we're doing today. All right, first step, we're going to clean off all the dust and dirt. Tape has someplace to stick. Otherwise, it's just going to peel off. We're just going to use some prep all wax and grease remover here to just clean this all up. Alright, now it's masked, and we can begin to get the dash prepped and painted. So that's the next step on that. I'll get working on that shortly, and get that painted and looking nice. Before we do that, I am going to remove this front bumper. I want to take a look. I want to pull this bumper off here and see what we got behind it. So there's the bumper. This is the outer bumper on these cars. So like modern newer cars today, you have an outer plastic bumper cover, and then behind that there is a metal structural part of the bumper. And so what we're going to do is take the outer one off, see what the inner one looks like, see what the health of that is, and what we need to do to clean it up and bring it back to life. And also, I need to take this off just to make it easier to access the engine, pull the engine out, just because it's a long nose and the engine sits far back in there, and just easier. It's easier. I may even take the core support off as well, and then just pull the engine and trans out completely when I pull that out, which would be nice and just a straightforward removal. So without any further ado, let's get this bumper off. Alright, we got one rusty bolt down. Passenger side's been a little more finicky, so we have to do a little more work to get that one to come out. So, crossing fingers. Well, it's a good thing we pulled that off. I have a little issue, not a big one, but behind that bumper is a reinforcer that kind of keeps the bumper from sagging and flopping around. It kind of gives it some holds the shape. and that part seems to be broken, which explains a lot. So we'll take a look at that really quick here. So as you can see, this piece should be attached to the metal bumper, but instead, with some clips and bolts and screws, you can see one of them right there is broken, and same on this side is broken. That one is broken. That one's broken. But it is being held together with this handy dandy wire tie a la Redneck Engineering. Inner bumper, the metal structure part, looks just a little bit on the rusty side. But it looks to be what the turn signals mount to. As you can see, I don't know if you can see in here, but the turn signals don't mount to the bumper cover like the headlights do. They actually mount to this bumper. So, yeah, so we got there. One of my thoughts had been to replace this bumper with an aluminum one out of a more modern car, but I don't know. Well, if we go down that road, I'll have to figure out a way to mount turn signals. But I may not. I may just leave it the way it is, clean it, sandblast it, paint it, put it back on, and get a replacement one of these. That it's just feels like it's just a rigid foam piece, so it absorbs a little bit of impact as well as holding up the front end. So that will have to be replaced, and yeah, that's what's behind the bumper. Actually, surprisingly, core support doesn't look too bad. It looks pretty clean. There's not a lot of rust. A couple little surface rust here, but nothing major. Overall, it looks pretty good. Alright, got a little more progress done. I'm happy with the way the dash is looking. It's coming along great. Shortly we'll have some paint on there, so the next video hopefully you'll be able to see what that looks like all painted and textured. I'm happy what I found behind the bumper. Not so much happy about the broken structural part, but I am happy there's not a whole lot of rust and rot, just surface rust that can be easily corrected, fixed and cleaned up and put back together again. I might have to get a new inner structure, or maybe I can somehow figure out a way to repair this one. But again, not a big deal. It's a lot of work though. A lot of more work to do on this car. A lot more things we got to do. So stay tuned. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe so you can follow along and see other videos and see this project go from this to showroom new again. Well, close to it at least, because we know the dash isn't going to be showroom perfect, or at least concourse perfect, but it will fool most. And look good, and that's all we want, is something that looks good at an affordable price. So thanks for watching.